Good morning, everyone. This is Rifgal. It is finally time. We are about ready to confront Leon in our championship finals match. I went out back to the Wilds area just to get everybody in our party up to 60. That was my minimum, I guess, rating I wanted to aim at. Everything in the Wilds area, I think anything in the Wilds in general now, is level 60. After you beat Eternatus, everything levels up to 60. All the wild Pokemon. Which makes grinding that last little bit a lot easier. It was not a long grind. We're gonna head straight up here. So, I'm gonna take a moment to go through our team here. We've got Nick, our Arcanine. Leon starts with a Steel type, so having a really strong Fire type in there as a lead is going to be great. Flare Blitz, keep it simple. We also have Play Rough as a backup, and Thunderfang as a backup for several other Pokemon that he has. And Extreme Speed is a great revenge kill move. So if one of our Pokemon were to fall after getting a hit off, like if they don't quite finish something off in one hit, Extreme Speed is going to give us that chance to attack first and come back. Dora, our Noivern, very good special attack, very good speed. Wise Glasses, just in case she needs to double up on something, but for the most part, she's here for Draco Meteor. We're gonna bring her in against a Dragon type and just squish it with Draco Meteor, which is, 130 power. It's very strong attack. Brad Gillerk, very good attack, great HP. That's how we trained him up, and he has really good, well-rounded defenses. So his main thing here is going to be Earthquake. We're bringing him in against... Actually, no, I'm wrong. We have this as a backup, but his main thing is actually going to be Ice Mine. He's actually taking a spot that was originally going to be for Alto, but unfortunately, we lost Alto in the lead up. So Brad is going to take his spot and hopefully be able to take something out with Ice Punch. His defenses and HP are enough that I'm not super worried about him if he needs 2 turns. And we also have a few backups in case we need. Cat is one that I hesitated on a little bit because I do think that Kyle might be better at this slot and would also be another backup for the Dragons. However, I really want to make sure we have that speed. I think that the crit bonuses from Scope Lens and Night Slash are really good, and I think Fake Out is a really cool move. Always goes first and causes a flinch is a great way to just make sure that Pokemon gets taken out. Basically, yes, it's going to take 2 turns, but we know that first turn they're not doing it. We also have Play Rough as a backup for Dragons, and Sucker Punch if we decide it's the same power, but doesn't crit, but it requires them to attack. So basically, Sucker Punch and Fake Out means she always goes first. It's pretty solid. Tristan. Toxicity is really powerful. That is a very high special attack. That is a very relatively good speed. And Overdrive. So Punk Rock, the ability, boosts the power of sound moves. And Overdrive and Boom Burst qualify for that. Overdrive is an electric attack. So also holding the magnet, which boosts electric, so it's boosted by magnet, boosted by punk rock, boosted by, or boosted because of stab, same type attack, with a very high special attack. If you recall, Leon took the other starter, so he has the Sobble from the beginning. He's bringing in Inteleon against us. Inteleon is a really strong water type. I think Tristan's going to be able to one-shot it. And finally, Leon's iconic Charizard is going to be the last slot here. I mentioned earlier, Stone Edge on Malcolm is here for a reason. So Stone Edge is a low accuracy move that has a high chance to crit and high power. The trick here is Charizard is 4 times weak to Stone. And when you Dynamax, you don't have those disadvantages. So, our goal is going to be to get through and have Malcolm bring up the rear here and hopefully take out Charizard in one shot. That's our plan. That's our party. There's a couple risky things here, like the fact that Dora is technically weak to Dragon, which we're also going against a fast Dragon type. But I think she's going to be faster. But we also, again, have a lot of backups. I am not worried about us beating Leon. I'm worried about us losing Pokemon along the way. So this is going to be kind of at absolute worst, we have to go to our backup strategies. But we have backup strategies. Malcolm and Tristan are also, honestly, all of them. There's a slight risk for all of this because Leon has a really well-rounded team. Even just the fact that Nick is going to be using a move with recoil, Flame Blitz. Make this a final match that'll go down in Galar's history. We're gonna have an absolutely champion time. Leon's goofy, but I do like him. Okay. Let's do this. Leon starts with an Aegislash. Aegislash is an interesting Pokemon. It starts out with very good defenses, and after it attacks, it swaps its attack and defense. That's why I'm a little bit concerned here, because if Nick doesn't one-shot it, it might counterattack with enough power for it to be problematic. I'm gonna trust that we can either one-shot it or do enough that it's gonna be a 2-shot. Perfect. One shot. I knew you could do it. Super effective hit. Good start. Aegislash fainted. Nick is gonna take a bunch of damage from recoil, but should be in good shape still. Axorus. We're gonna switch out here. This is actually what I have Brad for. Technically, we could use Dora here as well. Again, we have backups. We have multiple characters with fairy moves that can go against his dragons as well. We have lots of good layers here. But my main intention is for... Oh, Mold Breaker. That's nasty. Okay. Mold Breaker means... Okay, no, we're good. Oh. Okay, let's see if Brad can pull it off. That is problematic. Okay, so we need to figure out how to do this. We know that Outrage is going to continue, so we cannot bring Dora in. We don't have anything that's strong against Dragon. We don't have any fairy types. And I was counting on Brad to be physically strong enough for this. Like defensive enough. And we know Outrage is going to continue. I feel like we have to trade out. What are defense scores here? Yeah, he's still the best defensive character we've got, besides technically Dora, who's weak to Outrage. So I think we wait. I think we're going to max potion. Keep it simple. Now, last time I did this, we ended up getting crit. So that is still a possibility. But he's going to end and become confused. We don't know if he's just going to Outrage again. So I think we're going to do this. I'm going to hope he uses a different type. We're going to get this Intimidate off to weaken him. Full Restore. Perfect. Snaps it out of its confusion and brings it back up. Outrage. Hoping that that's going to only be 2 rounds of Outrage for Malcolm and that we're going to be able to act. Honestly, if we can get away with it, I would be okay with trying to buy a turn later to heal. Dora wants to learn Boom Burst. Yes. We'll swap Hurricane for that, sure. Boom Burst is really good. Nick got a level. Dragapult. Yes, we get a free swing. Good. So we're going to bring Dora in here. I'm really not sure where we buy the turn. Maybe against Inteleon? Perfect. This should definitely one-shot. Perfect. I mean, I suppose the other option is, if we one-shot everything for the rest of the battle, we're good. Mr. Rhyme. Okay, so this is where Cat is going to come in. This is actually where I'm debating. Mr. Rhyme probably shouldn't be able to one-shot Cat. I might be able to do a little bit of maneuvering here to get a heal in. Unless he has a fairy type. Okay. Yeah. We weren't going to be able to buy a turn. Unfortunately, that is just how that works. So we're going to have Inteleon here. I think we just need to keep going. Unfortunately. We just need to count on the plan. We need to count on everything getting one shot. And if we fail at some point here, we have backups. We might lose somebody along the way, but I think we're going to be able to pull it off. Overdrive. Intellion's faster. That's problematic. Tearful Look lowers attack and special attack, so we're down a step. We have to count on all those layered bonuses being enough. It's enough. Okay. I'm super nervous right now because Malcolm's at half health. But I don't feel like there's another option. This is what we're waiting on. This is what we're counting on. So his Charizard has Ancient Power, meaning it's going to be using a rock type move, which is going to be super effective, or at least neutral against Malcolm. And it's not a special, or it's a special attack. Now, our Max Rockfall is going to hit like a ton of bricks. And Choice Scarf should mean we're going first. Yup. We're transforming first means we're going to go first. As long as this hits and one-shots, we're safe. Plus, Dynamax means that Malcolm's going to have a bit more HP. 150, yeah, the chances of Charizard doing 150 with this is low. There's also a slim chance that he just goes with one of his, like, good, quote-unquote, signature moves and uses a fire attack. I'm kind of hoping that he does if we need to. Max Rockfall. Crap. Come on. No! Just not fast enough. We've had a lot of close calls with Malcolm, and unfortunately that's just how it pans out. I thought that the Choice Scarf was going to get him enough speed. Okay. So we don't get to Dynamax. 126, 134. We're going second. This is gonna suck. Dora might be able to outspeed, but has no super effective attacks. Brad is the only one who won't have anything super effective against him, but he's down on health right now, and is definitely slower. So our options are bring Brad in and just burn potions to get through the Dynamax, or we can try and bring Tristan in and see if he can one-shot with Overdrive, or see if we can just luck it out with Dora, because she's going to have a very strong, like, Draco Meteor is a really powerful step. It's not going to be super effective, it's just going to hit like a ton of bricks. I think we're going to do that. There's a slim chance that it's still faster, but I think this is going to be enough. Because Choice Scarf effectively puts us at about 180 speed. Dora's at 200. Draco Meteor. Yeah. Avoided the attack. Max Rockfall. So the good news is, she survived it. Which means, unless there's a crit, or he has a better move that he just didn't use. A max potion should get us through this. Okay. Max potion. We're gonna have to go for it after this, though. Ancient Power, yep. Now, Ancient Power should be fine unless it gets its stat boosts. So we basically are gonna be risking it here, but that should be okay. It dodged again. Yep. Okay. Sandstorm subsided. This is not going well. Bring Tristan in. Honestly, what I should have done there at the end, instead of going for Draco Meteor, is use X Special Defense on Dora after the Dynamax faded. Critical hit, of course. Okay. I am slightly less confident than I was that we can actually just beat this. So I'm gonna do something a little weird here. At this point, my main goal is just to not die. So we're going to sacrifice Cat here. She always gets to go first with those 2 attacks. That gets us down low enough that Nick can hopefully pull this off. And he didn't use Ancient Power, so we're good. That was rough. The good news is that's the end of the game. The bad news is we lost 4 Pokemon that we'd leveled up to get there. But they were still part of our championship team. We could not have done this without all of the Pokemon that we had with us there. They all brought something to the table, and that Charizard was level 65 and had really good luck on its hands. It missed all of its attacks. It was faster than it should have been, or it seemed like it should have been. It was more well-rounded than... I mean, that team is really strong and really well-rounded. And our plan wasn't perfect. We had to make some changes because we lost somebody along the way. So, you know, at the end of the day, we did what we needed to do. We beat the unbeatable champion. We beat the game. We became a first-rate trainer. Nuzlocks are rough. Nuzlocks are always going to be rough. We lost a lot of Pokemon along the way. And there's some of those we shouldn't have lost. Some of those that were sacrifices that we took a chance, or we lost because of a lucky crit. There's only so much you can do to plan for it. And we did the best we could. every Pokemon we had along the way did a great job. Even, even Magus as a squirrel pulled his weight and did a lot. There's only a couple that we got towards the end that we didn't really get a chance to use. Like Sarah and Dan. Most everybody else had a chance to do something cool along the way. So, this is when I normally do my final thoughts. We still have DLC to go, and I'm probably going to do the DLC. I don't know how much of the DLC... I mean, the DLC's story mode is not great. And there is the after the post-game stuff, which is also not great on story mode. I like this game. I like the fact that Pokemon, which, as I've talked about, has so many complex features to it. I like the fact that this makes it more accessible and transparent than a lot of the previous games. I like the fact that it tells you what's going to be super effective. I like the fact that it shows you the way that your EVs are progressing, even if it doesn't really tell you about it. I like the fact that after this, we're going to have the ability to do things like change natures and IVs that used to be locked in place, and change abilities that used to be locked in place. I like the fact that we're going to be able to level up our Dynamaxes as we go. I like the fact that we are going to be able to continue customizing our team in a way that previous generations required a lot of very finicky work and a lot of very specific knowledge to do. I like the fact that some of the story beats, like the stuff with the chairman, ends up kind of feeling like the cliche villain, but there's a bit of regret to him. There's a good intention to him that we don't see in a lot of other games. No other games, but a lot of other games. And Team Yell is kind of a red herring, where because they use the word team, we expect them to be the big bad, and they're not. And in a way, that also means that we don't have the rocket trope, or especially in like Ruby Sapphire, where you end up knowing exactly what you're fighting, because we went from the dark types that Yell brings to the steel types at the end. Like, you need different variety. I also like the way that this game handles the Elite Four and the gym leaders better than any other generation by far. Especially because now that we've beaten the game, if we do the Championship Cup again, it randomizes it. You know, that bracket stage, we can end up going up against any of the trainers again with their level 60 plus Pokemon, including Bede, Pop, Leon, Marnie. Like, we end up with a lot of different people who will challenge and get to enter that bracket stage against us. And yeah, it's a little bit different than the Elite Four, but I think it's better because it gets to show that these gym leaders are actually awesome. I feel like in a lot of games, the gym leaders end up feeling underwhelming because you only get to see them use their lower level teams, unless it's post-game. And in this one, even though it's not all of them, you get to see them really bring what they can bring. Like, that's, you know, Nessa is one of the first gym leaders. And she ends up as one of our opponents. She's one of the people who actually took down Pokemon on our team. And yeah, I think that sums it up. Thank you, everyone. Darn Wooloos. So yeah. The end. I do like this Pokemon. I wish that it had all of the Pokemon in the decks. I understand why they don't. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. So, oh, post-game cutscene. Just a little reminder that that's there. Uh, we have another legendary to catch. We have a post-game that is okay. I really don't actually like the post-game for this, but it's not bad. Where we have to deal with the legendary or the descendants of the heroes. And then potentially we've got Isle of Armor and the let's see, Isle of Armor and what's the other one? Wow. I'm blanking out. Apparently we don't get to do that. Crown Tundra. There we go. Which have their own legendaries, they have their own unique Pokemon, their own zones, their own stories. The stories are very short. And all the areas that are coming up are wild areas effectively. So there's a lot of randomization, but that's still kind of fun. So, we do have to do this. And move everybody to the memorial box. I am going to keep all of these Pokemon. The reason I'm keeping all of them is so we have the memorial box here to remember who we lost along the way. But it's also because this means that I can, once we're done with these videos, once we're done with the Nuzlocke, I can use them again. And I want to be able to bring out my Squirrel or, Alto, who I actually was really impressed with and then didn't get a good chance to use, or Bagel, who's, I really enjoy that Rabombi and I didn't get a good chance to use it, or Malcolm, who's, was doing a great job and carried us through a lot of the game, but then didn't end up getting a chance to show his stuff against Leon. I want a chance to bring them back later. Even if it's not on the videos, even if it's after the Nuzlocke's done, I want to still be able to remember them. That's why I have it set up the way it is. So, thank you again to everyone, especially to Magus and Crocker and Bagel, and Sonia, Sarah, Boone, Tristan, Kat, Malcolm, Dora, Alto, and Juliet. Even though we lost you along the way, you still were a part of this team. You still were part of the reason why we got through to the end. If we had wiped completely, the run ends. So, that's how Nuzlocke works. If you end up losing, it's done. And if we'd lost against Leon there, that would have been really disappointing. So, thank you again, everybody. We're going to get everybody here back into the pool for the DLC. So everybody here will have a chance to get their name drawn again and to become a new Pokemon to use for the rest of the game. We've still got Eternatus. I may end up naming somebody after Eternatus. I don't really like using Eternatus, though. But you know what? In a Nuzlocke, we might need him. So yes, hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. If it did, give me a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. Stay tuned for Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra and the post game. And as always, have a good one. We'll catch you next time.